Final Star Wars topic to talk about. This is cool. I can't wait for this. Star Wars Land, and that's just the temporary title. I'm sure they'll eventually call it somewhere else, but they are really going all out since Disney bought Lucasfilm to create this huge park for Star Wars that really wants to, and they kept talking about this in the panel over and over and kept saying the word immersion, that you're really in a place that's in Star Wars. And from what we know, it's going to be taking place during the era of the new trilogy when you got the First Order versus the Resistance. I'm sure they'll change that from time to time, but you're going to see, like, apparently it's going to take place in a planet that actually does exist. They know where it is in the galaxy map. This is real. This is canon. It's a place that's a little bit out of the way on purpose so that people like bounty hunters and stuff, can go there. So you're going to see stuff like, people interacting, I'm guessing, like bounty hunters or people chasing people. They want lightsabers that look really real to be there. They're going to have a Millennium Falcon that you can control. I don't know how they're going to do that. Can you imagine obviously they're going to have a full-size Millennium Falcon you can go on. They've already talked about that. But if you're going to control this as a ride, I can't imagine them do this with just the one Millennium Falcon they're going to build, or they're going to have a line that goes all the way out the door that you have to wait for 2 weeks.
Well, I would expect them to do something more along the lines of Star Tours. Or just here's like a little flight simulator that everybody just walks into, and you can have like 20 of those. Because
they said actually it's going to be you working together with people. So someone's in the cockpit, someone's in the
flight crew.
Someone's going to be at the gunner. That's going to be really cool. But Star Wars will be everywhere. You'll control the Falcon. You can become a Star Wars character. You can essentially build a reputation. So the way you play with your crew on the Millennium Falcon, then you go off and you go find a local watering hole, and you see other bounty hunters in there. They might know you based on your reputation, how you played this. How cool would this have been when we were freaking kids?
Would have been awesome.
You're going to have some kids that you have to rip away from that place, kicking and screaming, saying, "I don't want to go. Let me go."
All I can think of is like the poor guy that's working there who has to be playing the part of the bounty hunter. And your job from 9 to 5 is going up to the 6-year-old like, "Way to make that Kessel run, bro."
It's got to be better than just walking around in a Tigger costume where you're just smiling and sweating the whole
Put
time.
that back on. I don't care if it's 98 degrees out. Do not ruin the magic.
But does this get you excited? I mean, next time, or when you think about going with family to Disney World, this becomes like the number one first spot that I would want to go to.
Yeah, the fact that you said Disney in there scares me to death.
What do you mean?
This does sound awesome.
Mm-hmm.
If it could just be me and my family in there, that would be phenomenal. But the problem is it's Disneyland.
Disney World, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be on the Millennium Falcon in 3.5 hours with my Express Pass. In the meantime, I'm going to be hanging out down in whatever they want to call it, the merch alley, with the overpriced food, lightsabers, all all the stuff that I have.
Blue milk for $20.
You're coming out of that place with a second mortgage.
Milk. That's something that they have to include, blue milk now.
But you know what? They have to know that. I mean, they've been planning this for years. They're putting a lot of care in this. They have to know this is going to be a high-traffic area. And just like Dan says, like the Millennium Falcon ride, it's going to be like Space Mountain where you have all these different lanes to get in so they can get as many numbers through that as possible. I can't imagine. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can go during summer or Christmas or wherever it is, and depending on when you go, the line to get into what's now called Hyperspace Mountain could be long, but there's a lot of times you can go where the line's like 10 to 20 minutes, and I think it'll be equivalent to that just because they know that the demand of this is going to be really huge. But this is apparently going to be a huge lane. It's not just like this one little area that spawns out all over the place, so I'm sure they're going to be ready for traffic.
Well, yeah, and they keep saying immersive. And I think if they play this right, you can enter that land like it's a separate thing. I mean, an idea that I had for it, and I am excited. I mean, I say those things, but it would just be awesome to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently this is an out of the way place that was once a big place, a big port.
Yep.
So if you kind of entered this as, say, like a new colonist, like you're entering it and you're like your experience is going to be you as a new person in this port.
Yeah.
Like you've come on a colony ship. And you're being introduced to where you're about to live.
Mm-hmm.
I think that kind of experience to actually kind of fully put you in it would be pretty awesome.
They've done such a good job modernizing. I mean, Bob Iger is one of the best CEOs on the planet. When he took the reins, he did so much with that company because I know that the amount of money it takes to run that place on a daily basis, like there's an entire almost city underground in Disney World because it takes so long to get from place to place. So all the employees and the logistics of all the items that they have to move from place to place, all the merchandising, all the food, everything like that has got to go in these underground cities that are just huge. But they've also modernized it so much that when you book a trip to Disney World now, before you actually go, like a week before, you get your box in the mail that comes with all these wristbands with NFC built into them with the names of all the members of your family built into them, different color coded. So everywhere you go, you don't need to worry about cash transactions as much or who gets into what lines for the express lanes and stuff as much. All that stuff is tied to that immediately so that they could do something like this where you could play a character and can keep track of how well you did at the Millennium Falcon run or whatever it is that ties into the next thing very seamlessly without bogging you down in extra logistics. So I think that they're really set up to do this effectively. I mean, this gets me really excited to go see how this is going to turn out. We don't even know when it's going to open, do we?
Nope.
2 years.
2 years?
2019.
They said 2019, I think, is when it's scheduled to open.
So we got plenty of time. Would you be pumped?
Oh,
check out
yeah.
Star Wars Land?
Yeah.
We'd never leave.
This is my reality now.
Just find some costumes,
Yeah.
stay in them.
There's 3 assholes in their 30s that like lock the back door to the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. They said they're not coming out till Optimus Prime comes back to life. What the hell's going on?
These aren't the guys you're looking for.
Yeah.
This looks so
Bring me my
awesome.
blue milk.
Bring me more blue milk and some Nerf herders.
And you better get them power converters from Toshi Station.
Yeah. Well, all the art that they've shown off on this so far looks awesome. Actually getting to go onto the Millennium Falcon, but I mean, this just looks insane. I'm sure that they'll have like restaurants up in some of these, huge skyscraper like buildings.
I was thinking about the restaurants.
Yeah.
How could you make like gross looking food that people still wanted to buy?
Probably just
because
like
nothing in Star Wars has looked very appetizing.
I'll agree with that, but you know what they'll never show on Star Wars, at least we haven't seen thus far, and it would be boring as hell if they did, if they actually showed the dinner scene on Cloud City when they sat down with Darth Vader and they actually had the dinner and brought out 3 courses, because it'd be boring as fucking hell. Can I get some more butter for the rolls? I've asked like 3 times, and it's every time it goes to Vader first, he takes all of it. Doesn't even give a shit about everybody else.
I see everyone sitting there, good God, this is awkward.
Unless it was more like what was in Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you enjoying your clip claps? Just like Mother used to make.
What you're eating is still moving around.
I think they got to make some candy or something like that, right?
They will. Come on. There's no way they're going to pump out a whole bunch of sugar products for everybody to buy and the merchandising and this, that, or the other. But I can't wait to see, because they keep talking about there's so many different people making lightsabers out there. They want to do something that's better than everything that's been put out there that look real like what you see in the movie. And I don't know how you do something like that. I would assume something that actually extends, not just a long light that lights up. Normally I'd say
inflatable lightsaber.
Yeah, probably, right? I mean, how else would you do it? But
I mean, for a little kid, that'd be cool, especially if it's still lit up.
Because it would have to be something that's very Nerf friendly, safe, or you got lawsuits that are going to come all over the place. So it's got to be safe. But if they want to put that much effort behind it to make real from people that really care about, and remember, this story group is helping with this. Mm-hmm. They're the ones making a lot of these decisions. And again, I'm so glad they did that, because these guys care. They're like us. They grew up with this stuff, and they're putting over the top. How did they put it? What was it? Let me see if I can find it. A couple weeks ago, blah, 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 included, we're still starting to visit, official name. The focus was immersion, which was repeated by many of the panelists. The idea was to put you into the middle of a Star Wars story, make you completely feel like you are there. You'll see some familiar elements, including vehicles, aliens, droids, etc. That's another thing we didn't think about. Droids just walking around that might look just like you would see in the movie.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Brand new environments and characters that are all meant to make you feel like you're experiencing a brand new tale in the Star Wars universe. All was meant to make you feel truly canonical while also making Star Wars feel like a real environment you're walking through, said designer Doug Chiang, who'd worked on several Star Wars films prior to his involvement in this project. The level of detail and fidelity that the team is working on is so over the top. Adding, it wasn't meant to feel like a movie set, but reality. Oh, man. It's time to move the family down to Orlando, get a trailer, and we know what our 9 to 5 will be like.
Yeah, it's almost frightening.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, knowing what it takes to build that stuff without somebody touching it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to have hundreds of thousands of people every week, or maybe even every weekend, going through that.
Yep.
And that to me is almost a nightmare.
But again,
it's like how do you keep it looking good?
Who better to know how to do that than someone that's been doing it for decades in all their different parks? You know what I mean? That aspect, as far as maintenance, they've got that down. That's something one of the things that George Lucas even said when he was selling to Disney, that the amount of care they put into their stuff and getting more stuff into the parks and the abilities that they've developed over time and the care that they put into this stuff is something he can't wait to see what they do with Star Wars. And I know there's a couple years out, but man, this is going to be so awesome.
Yeah, I hope they include a Sarlacc pit for those guests that just are unruly.
And then you throw your kids into it.
Yeah, you just push your kids right into the Sarlacc
pit.
Look,
I know it looks scary with all the worms coming out of it and the giant teeth.
Don't worry, you're not going to digest for thousands of years.
Yeah. After years of therapy, you're going to thank me for this because this pushed you out of your comfort zone. Now go ahead and jump in.
Say hi to the Fett Man for me.
It's this. I'm blanking on the name of the creature that Luke fights before the Sarlacc pit.
The
Rancor.
Rancor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either this or the Rancor. Kid.
Yeah. You want to stay up past 9:30 tonight? You get down there and find me some Mandalorian armor.
I keep thinking like somebody's gonna climb into a back to tank. Just throwing skivvies on.
Yeah, that's supposed to be scenery only. Get that kid out of there.
Oh, I feel great.
Yeah. Why do we not lock that thing down?
We put it right next to the cantina.
Well, can you guys think of anything else you would love for them to throw into something like this that you'd love to see, like in reality?
I mean, just probably more the same of what they're already thinking of, like speeder rides. You saw the stuff with the Falcon. The interactions, whether it's with the kind of the bounty hunter element, maybe the First Order, maybe the Resistance, and different pockets of the park. So
have you guys been on Space Mountain since they changed it to Hyperspace Mountain and added all the TVs with like TIE fighters and stuff going over you? It's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same kind of ride going through space, but it feels completely different when you got stuff coming over you and you're going over something. You see a big ship coming at you, and then the Star Destroyers come in. It's awesome. Like it was almost like it was made for that too. But cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you pumped for Star Wars Land? Actually, what do you think that they should call it? What do you guys think they'll actually call it? Star Wars Land makes sense, but I could see them calling it something else.
They'll give it some planetary name.
Oh, the name of the park. I mean,
don't you kind of need to throw Star Wars in there?
As part of a marketing
Disney
thing.
door.
You really want to identify it as a, here's the IP that we're going with.
Yeah.
So,
well, let us know what ideas would you love to see in a Star Wars theme park at Disneyland and Disney World. There's no wrong answers. None, except for what Matt says.
Where are you going to put the bathrooms?
In the back to tanks.
Those don't exist in Star Wars. So
just
they
like
don't
underwear. There's no bathrooms.
So
in
they
space.
so they don't exist in this
Some
park.
trash compactors. That you can...
There's something alive in here.